Brought to you by Fumbisayaka. Cooking with electricity is now so affordable with the Fumba tariff set by the Electricity Regulatory Authority.
A very good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News tonight on this 12th day of November 2022. Before we delve into tonight's news bulletin, let's first take a look at the headlines. In our headlines tonight, Deputy Speaker asks high institutions of learning to prioritize science. Gaba Major Seminary celebrates 50 years. New Operation Shuja Commander General Olum inspects forces in DR Congo. And the Batwa wants schools, health services and decent housing. Good evening once again. I'm Loreen Masika Kazumoto and my colleague Muhammad Mugalu in Sign Language Interpretation. We start off this news bulletin. It was a jubilation as the students of Ongongoja Secondary School received school structures at a ceremony officiated by the Vice President Major Jessica Alupo. The school currently boasts of 446 and 53% are female, 17 teachers out of which 9 are on the government payroll, with optimism that the strides made by the school are motivating and in the near future begin the higher education section to enable students continue with their educational journey uninterrupted. We have the details.
Uganda has become peaceful, and I think it's a time for the land to thrive and flourish.
You came in handy as the government of Japan through the embassy to establish a very significant and magnificent laboratory. Today, you have again made a big milestone in establishing a 6-classroom block, completing the whole cycle of education in this school.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiyewa, has challenged all learning institutions to embrace government's call of promoting science education. While officiating at the 26th Kampala International University graduation ceremony, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiyewa, echoed government's move towards embracing science. We have the details.
A parasitology scholar, Dr. Josephat Maniga, is among the 2,496 students who graduated at Kampala International University. He was awarded with a PhD in microbiology, majoring in parasitology. Dr. Maniga enrolled for a PhD in 2015 and in 2017 started his research in malaria control, particularly drug resistance.
I was looking at is about the treatment of malaria. You know, like malaria, we are treating it, but sometimes you find that patients, they are not getting cured.
He carried out his research in Western Uganda, given the little data available about malaria in Western Uganda.
Some of the recent data, it has shown that the prevalence of malaria in Western Uganda also is starting to increase, which initially it was not the case. Initially we were knowing that malaria is more common in Northern Uganda, here in central Uganda and in eastern.
Maniga is among the 6 students who were awarded doctorates of Kampala International University.
We are suspecting some resistance of the parasites with the drugs that we are using.
The Vice Chancellor, Kampala International University, Professor Muhammad Mpeza Mihigo, says the university is moving towards expanding science courses through collaborations with other international science-based universities. He, however, asked the government to accept the application to have KIU Hospital elevated to a referral to support their science innovations.
Given a big boost to the human resource capacity of the university, we are indeed grateful to the federal government of Nigeria.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, who represented the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Mong, says it's time higher institutions of learning embraced teaching of science courses.
Institutions like KIU, Teaching Hospital, I can see you already meet a very great deal of the requirements we put in place.
The 2,496 students included those who attained diplomas, degrees, postgraduates, masters, and PhDs.
These days, journalists will tend to go up on something than going deep to understand a situation before we bring it out to the people. So I think if we do enough research as journalists, we can do better in the field of journalism.
People, through those studies and research made by different professors and also our research made by our fellow students.
Mohammed Kamoga, a law student, says his decision to study law was to enhance his skills in land management. He does not contradict with the current law, but faults the implementers on the increasing cases of land grabbing.
You make 100 laws, but you can't implement even 2. That wastes your time. The implementers are the problem right now. But
started 20 years ago, Kampala International University has leveraged in the virgin area of science with diversity in science courses. Susan Naung and Kenneth Tanaba reporting for ABC TV.
Mountain Division and Operation Shuja Commander Major General Dick Olum has inspected joint forces sectors in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. General Olum thanked the gallant forces for the zeal and resolve exhibited in dislodging ADF terrorists from the jungles of Virunga and Ituri impenetrable forests.
The Commander Mountain Division, who is also the Operations Suja Chief, Major General Dick Olum, has been inspecting and interacting with the joint forces in his sector. This inspection aimed at boosting the morale of the UPDF and draw fresh strategy against splinter ADF groups. While briefing the sector commanders, the Operation Suja Commander, General Olum, said the joint forces will continue offensive action against the ADF.
Nimekuja kufanya kazi. Nilikuwa sijui watanileta hapa. Yeye ndiye amefikiria yeye mwenyewe president anasema wewe Dick kwenda huko. Nitaichapa na nguvu yangu yote. Kama nikulala hapa, nitalala hapa.
He further informed the commanders, especially in Boga, Chabi, Mukakati and Kainama, that the Commander-in-Chief has given instructions to eliminate ADF fighters from the area.
Hadi kila kitu inalainika. Interest ya President Museveni lazima tuifuatilie.
This is a joint operation. And now that I've been brought into this formation or the division, it's my pride to move around, to check on the troops that I will command, to see what they are doing, to check on the operation capabilities, to look at the challenges that they get, so that these challenges are taken back to my boss, my immediate boss, who's the Commander Landing Forces, and that's Lieutenant General Kayanja Muhanga.
He thanked sector commanders for their mutual trust and cooperation exhibited between UPDF and FRDC.
You need to talk from both the top leadership of any formation, a brigade, division, and downwards, but also talk to the lower soldiers at the battalion and the platoon and the company levels. The reason is there are issues or there are problems that may not reach you, but once you visit these soldiers at the lower level, they give you, you are in touch, you are in full touch with exactly what these soldiers are doing and what problems they go through.
UPDF forces have secured the areas of Katembe, Paida, Borasi, Kainama, Tondoli, Semriki, Nyakabale, Mitego, Mululu, Lutete, Mugwanga, Baliria, Matete, up to Zunguluka. Haruna Mutesasira, reporting for UBS News in Congo.
Karimojong and Turkana pastoralists have been advised against bush burning, lest they face charges associated with environmental destruction. The 3rd Division Commander, Brigadier General Joseph Balikudembe, was meeting pastoralists at Kobebe Dam in Lotisan Sub-County, Moroto District.
Whenever dry spell rolls in Karamoja sub-region, pastoralists burn bushes and migrate to the neighboring regions of Teso, Acholi and Lango. But the 3rd Division Commander, Brigadier General Joseph Balikudembe, warned pastoralists and said those found setting their bushes on fire will be arrested and jailed.
The bushes is prohibited. The bushes you see around, those are granaries for our livestock. Don't burn them. The found burning will be arrested and charged for destroying the environment.
Balikudembe also warns pastoralists on concealment of criminals.
Anywhere and enter any kraal, the following people will be arrested. These bows and arrow will be arrested. Sticks, these sticks we are seeing, and you, the leaders in the kraal who see the cows that have been raided and brought to the kraal and you keep quiet, you will be arrested.
Involved in criminal activities, the laws of Uganda, the laws of the land will take care of you, because we do not encourage crime. We want people to live and coexist peacefully. The Turkanas, the Karamojongs, the Madenikos, and all the other communities within these particular areas mentioned. We don't want you to engage in crime, then at the end of the day, you start saying that you are being pushed to the wall. Keep off from crime. Don't go for raids and then you have had. Your crowds should be clear so that we don't have people using them.
There is now an increasing pastoralists grazing around the Kobobe Dam, which is located around Matheneko Game Reserve. Ediau says it is not good for the community to graze within the game reserve.
Move with dogs, you don't go with the arrows, and we also agree that when they get wildlife where they are concentrating, they should not chase them. They should leave them in those areas and they redirect them, their cows in another place, such that the animals also have freedom. And we have agreed that in the multiple use zone, they can graze their cows, but they should not also disturb the wildlife.
UBC News Tonight. Every 1st December, Uganda joins the rest of the world to commemorate World AIDS Day. And for this case, on every 11th November, Ugandans have annually remembered and celebrated the life of the late music icon, the late Philly Bongole Lutaya, who publicly declared his positive HIV status.
The late music star Bongole Lutaya was the first Ugandan to publicly announce his HIV/AIDS status. According to the late Bongole Lutaya, the gesture was intended to show the world that indeed the virus was existing and deadly, but not the end of life if contracted. Held on every 11th of November, Lutaya is remembered as a hero who shared his HIV/AIDS status publicly.
So me as a man, what I'm seeing as a man right now, is straight from the heart, is I think we're going to have more problems with the girls than the men. The men now don't care.
This Friday, organizations like Uganits, UN Women and Uganda AIDS Commission organized a commemoration public memorial dinner at Sheraton Hotel, Kampala for the late music star.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is therefore our collective moral duty to strengthen communities for sustainable impact. The struggle to eliminate HIV-related stigma and discrimination and all associated medical, socio-economic, cultural, political implications is not easy due to the less political will.
The UN Women Deputy Country Representative to Uganda, Adekemi Ndieri, says there is a commitment to eliminate HIV.
Women is a key player in the global efforts to end stigma and discrimination. And working very closely with our co-sponsors, UNAIDS, and other co-sponsors, and we remain a key player at global level in terms of elimination of violence against women, the related stigma and discrimination of HIV, and this partnership continues to provide advisory and support to address HIV-related stigma, including irrational and negative attitudes, behaviors, and judgments. You heard a lot of that this evening.
Grace Naiga, who serves as the executive director, Organet, says the move by the late Bongole Lutaya opened people's eyes.
But also today, knowing that he's not here, for the last 33 years since he passed on, there are very many people that picked up on the fight. There are very many people in our communities that have been fighting to end stigma and discrimination. And so we used this opportunity as we are commemorating Philly Lutaya's good work, but also to celebrate the personalities that we have currently that have spearheaded the advocacy work around HIV and AIDS, that have been key and instrumental in fighting to end stigma and discrimination.
Major Rubaramira Ruranga, one of the few soldiers who courageously declared his HIV status, was also in attendance.
Very interesting, because one thing is, I was the second retired. The only difference is that I have not died. And I want to keep doing what he did. The late retired Rip gave me this courage. I really did it because the late Fide Bongole retired did it.
It is now 33 years since the late music star Fide Bongole Lutaya died, but his legacy lives on. Story compiled by Jamilu Sekaja for UBC News.
The Anglican Church in Lira, Urban West Archdeaconry has noted with great concern the manner in which young people have begun walking away from indecent churches. The Archdeacon, Lira Urban West Archdeaconry, Reverend Canon Dr. Jackie Oto Olima, says youths in the urban centers want to identify with elegant and modern places of worship. He says it's a shame to see churches of God in ruins. They are now looking for at least 1 billion shillings to put up a magnificent place of worship to contain the youths.
In 1987, All Saints Church of Bampewany was established under the Diocese of Lango. A befitting structure was erected to look after the spiritual interest of the Anglican Christians.
Then say, my name is Mary, Lord loves you.
With the coming of the city and growth in population, new interest began to emerge. Reports also indicate that some youth have since fled the church due to its current dilapidated status.
Surely I have very many friends of mine who have left, going to good places, good worship centers.
We are losing them because the youth want to identify with a clean place. Right now we are not yet up there because the kind of facilities we have is not yet measuring to their expectations, so we are losing some.
With the 3 services on Sundays, the church has become smaller to accommodate all worshippers.
We are late to 12. PNK Karame Court. I'm a joke and to be the Court Purigi. And to Kanu Jodushu, T. Otobanga, John Warba, Kerichuya Chelaken.
As the diocese prepares to celebrate 100 years of existence in Lango, there is a plan to erect 3 churches in a triangle approach to ministry in the city.
And since the congregation is expanding, we need a larger place. So it is a large place, but it's a simple one. It's not storied.
The allocation given to us is also being worked on, and thank you that we are now reaching far and wide, that everyone can now give their support.
A fundraising drive is currently ongoing, and on the 27th of this month, the Speaker of Parliament is expected to grace a mega initiative to raise 1 billion shillings to build the temple.
We are expecting the Speaker of Parliament to come and help us during this fundraising. We want to appeal to all our viewers who are seeing us everywhere to come in our aid.
Bonnie Ferdinand Okel, the chairperson lady, says the church has made a great difference in people's lives. He rallied government and partners to support the temple of God.
We have those who have left street
prostitution. And after their lives have been what? Changed. And now they feel the only comfort zone is the church. Continuous like counseling and giving them hope and also giving them livelihood. So that is one key areas that really we also feel the government should not just see the church as a Sunday day where people go and fellowship and pray, but they should know that it's a development arm where we can also support the vision and the activities of the government.
With the current seating capacity of 500 Christians, Hosen's Church of Ampewine looks after approximately 5,000 Christians. $1 billion shillings is required to build a 1,000-seater capacity church to accommodate the population. Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
Kampala Capital City Authority, together with the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Major General Geoffrey Tumusime, has intercepted degradation of Nachibubo Wetland system for proper management of floods in Kampala. The team with immediate effect is to stop operations done by Majestic Commodities Limited, Zongoi Industries Limited and Goodwill Industry Limited from refilling the wetland with soil by Monday.
Kampala Capital City Authority is working on a proper drainage channel to ensure that there is proper management of flooding in Kampala City. This has prompted KCCA with the Deputy Inspector General of Police to conduct an impromptu visit to the affected Nachivo wetland system in Bugolobi. With the help of police, Majestic Commodities Limited was stopped from carrying out any activity on the 20-acre piece of land. It is alleged the company is in the process of constructing apartments and demarcation of the land is in progress. However, Majestic Commodities Limited has vowed to continue with the refilling process because they have the license obtained from NEMA.
Twagala batukolera obuwandiike oba tuziza omusango oba criminal trespass batwale mu kooti z'amateeka. Nefe tulina ebiwandiiko, tulina NEMA certificate, tulina approval okuva mu KCC, tetuyinza kuva wano bwewa. Toyinza gamba muntu nti nno nkugobye wano. Toyinza okungoba wange. Wano wange inawe ebyapa. Omupiira tujja gumalira mu kooti. Buli omu alage kyayina. Nefe batwa epapula byaffe tujja kusigala nga tukyagenda mu maaso. Okujjako nga waliwo ekirala kye bagamba nti nno wano waabwe ne tulinawo ebyapa byawo. Tujja kusigala nga banaabaganya kulya kye tubagamba tujja kugenda mu mbuga z'amateeka.
The Deputy Inspector General of Police, Geoffrey Tumusime, said they are ready to provide protection on Nachivo drainage system and asked NEMA and KCCA to come out with a final conclusion on the matter.
And once those conditions are fulfilled, then we allow. If not, no more. And this is not about law enforcers only. The public must get involved. All of us need to get involved and stop this. It is not helpful to anybody. It is only destroying our country. It is not police work, it is not KCC work only, it is not anybody else. All of you, including the place, must point out this problem.
Engineer David Luyimbazi from Kampala Capital City Authority said choking swamps and building in defiance to the conditions given to develop in wetlands has affected the city.
We're going to just try to see that we try to implement some corrective measures that can try to limit or reduce the negative impact of having those developments there in the first place. Because obviously we cannot pull down all those structures. We can't pull them down, but then how do we execute some mitigation measures that can allow the remaining part of the swamp to be able to perform its function? Let's not allow the continued degradation of all the swamps.
And I don't know whether Ugandans also do this. I have this sense maybe foreigners do not give a damn about the future of Uganda. What they care about is making money. What they can't understand is why NEMA keeps giving them these approvals. I can't also understand why Cabinet vanquishes place as a swamp, because it's a clear swamp. Every element of a swamp is here. And please don't think about the future, think about today, that Kampala is flooding today. Right now when it rains Bugolobi, you can't drive through it. It floods. Why? Because the areas that are supposed, the wetlands are supposed to take this water cannot work, and there is no amount of drainage any city can do that can consume all this water. It doesn't exist.
Wanyama Wilberforce from the Ministry of Water and Environment says most of the damage is in Kampala and eastern Uganda, hence working together to protect the wetlands.
This particular Nachivo wetland, I can state that most of the
stands around, we are remaining with like 20 or 30%. 70% is gone. And you can see this area here, it was declared vanquished. But the area that was declared vanquished, here you can see that it still has some elements, all the characteristics of a wetland. So these are some small things that we need to go back and look and see whether the cabinet can really reverse this decision.
Local leaders say there are so many people involved and are skeptical whether the injunction stopping them will be fulfilled.
You try to record to NEMA, report to NEMA. There is KCC also involved. There are the area police involved. So sometimes you just go through a quagmire.
What happens when you report?
Well, red tape takes place. We shall respond. But like you see, it has not been forthcoming for a while.
The injunction stopping the refilling of wetlands with soil is to be set by Monday. So that Kaye, UBC News.
The Director of Public Prosecution, Lady Justice Frances Abodo, has urged senior prospectors who have attained a week training to share knowledge and experience obtained to curb human trafficking that is effectively increasing in Uganda. This was communicated on the closing of a week training program of prosecutors on how to handle human trafficking cases, which was held in Kampala.
Prosecutors have undergone a one-week training on how to arraign traffickers in human cases, organized by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution in partnership with the Human Trafficking Institute. The Director of Public Prosecution, Lady Justice Jane Francis Abodo, urged the prosecutors to extend the knowledge obtained to others.
The ODPP and the Human Trafficking Institute to address these challenges and tackle the crime. But the PTIP Act was passed way back in 2000.
Abodo says in the next years to come, Uganda will emerge as a global leader in prosecution of trafficking in person cases.
Police and prosecutors who are very passionate and very skilled now at going after the traffickers and protecting victims. So trafficking exists all over the world. It exists in my country, in the United States. It exists throughout the world. But what we know is that the countries that really increase enforcement see the biggest drops in the prevalence of trafficking.
The Chief Executive Officer, Human Trafficking Institute, Victor Botros, however, appealed to the victims of human trafficking to come out such that perpetrators can be brought to book.
So this is not the place to engage in trafficking. It's no longer safe to be a trafficker here. And for victims, this is now becoming a safe place for you. What is happening is the country of Uganda is turning the fear equation upside down. Instead of traffickers being unafraid and victims being afraid, now it's the traffickers who are becoming afraid and the victims who are becoming emboldened. And we want to see Uganda continue to invest in becoming the world's global leader in stopping trafficking.
The best performing trainees were awarded with certificates and had this to say on the training.
For us to be trained so that we become the pioneer trainers of other prosecutors in regard to trafficking in person cases.
In attendance was Lady Justice Damali Rwanga, Supreme Court Justice Mike Chibita, Assistant Inspector General of Police Grace Akulo, among others. Story compiled by Susan Nabugude and Rebecca Nantongo.
The Batwa in Kanungu district are frustrated over poor standards of living they have experienced for decades. They want decent shelters, access to health services, schooling for their children, among others. The Batwa expressed this during their engagement with Chambogo University officials and leaders of Batwa Empowerment Village on how to create a good living environment for the Batwa community, which took place at the Batwa Empowerment Village, Buhoma, Bwindi, Kanungu district. We have the details.
The Batwa, who were until recently living in the jungle of Chigezi, DR Congo and Renzori Mountains, now claim to be frustrated due to poor standards of living, lack of decent shelter, poor health services and lack of school facilities, among others. The The Batwa were rejected out of the forests by Uganda Wildlife Authority in 1992 and advised to settle outside the forests. Chambogo University Faculty of Architecture partnered with Batwa Village Empowerment to set up a permanent structure for some Batwa families in Kanungu district. Lecturer at Chambogo University Dr. Anguyo says the project targets to tackle the housing problem among the Batwa vulnerable groups.
We've moved to many areas. We've been to the fishing villages of Sess Islands. Yes, we've been to other places, then when refugee camps, to see the lifestyle of the refugees, how simple, how easy it could be of assistance to them. So this one, the particular is for the Batwa, and we are excited.
The chairman of Batwa Village Empowerment hailed Chambogo for extending a helping hand to the Batwa community, adding that they have been living in a congested environment that exposes them to diseases.
Of certain people in just a small unit, and if someone suffers from flu, you find when all the members are affected already. Yeah, so really housing or shelters has been a very big issue, and that's why Chambogo University identified these Batwa members living here as the most needed people who really need this opportunity of decent housing.
The Batwa appreciated the offer of a decent house, saying that it will mitigate their challenge of poor standards of living. A minority group in the tropical rainforest of southwestern Uganda, adjoining the Democratic Republic of Congo, estimated to be approximately 6,705. As a minority group, the Batwa are vulnerable to many problems such as discrimination, marginalization, and inadequate access to social services. Because of education, social stigma, low awareness of civic rights and freedoms, suboptimal nutritional habits, and lack of stable land tenure system and jeopardize their survival.
Hoima Sugar Limited has restored hope among the evictees of Chijayo in Chiziramfumbi sub-county in Chikube district after the company pledged to handle issues affecting the displaced families. The over 300 families who were evicted by Hoima Sugar Limited in 2014 to pave way for sugarcane growing in Chiziramfumbi sub-county have been living at Chijayo camp for internally displaced people in Chikube district.
Hoima Sugar Limited has committed to handle issues of people displaced by its activities of sugar growing who are in Chiziramfumbi sub-county Chikube district. This was during a meeting by National Association of Professional Environmentalists to find a lasting solution to the conflict between Hoima Sugar Limited and affected persons. The evictees, who now live in Chijayo IDP camp, are accusing the company of allegedly contaminating water source and destroying access roads in their area through improper disposal of wastes from the factory.
Tukagendaho mu commission bayeraganizo mu wiki yes ibine kituko batususuyira.
Cedric Silva, Chisembo Mugisha and Teddy Chomgisa says the residents are struggling to access clean and safe water since most of the water sources in the area have been contaminated.
On several occasions, the company has pledged many things which it has failed to fulfill. For instance, Kinecha police they can pay for one room, which cannot help police to come.
We agreed with Hoima Sugar. These people, at least they should help these people with the water, safe water, the access road.
Pistolinawe, another evictee, says they are living a miserable life and have several times called for the company intervention in vain.
Then akatuherezamo abana bitaga basa kutuhereza ngo kubareberera babaraza.
However, Rethina Sami Venkat, the agro manager for Hoima Sugar Limited, promised that the company will fund the establishment of a police post in Chiswaza Trading Center to handle the increasing lawlessness among the company workers and the community.
Water and police station, and no police station is different. Water, pollution and road, we are discussing with next week. But the compensation, the mediation, everything we are discussed with the management. He cannot make the decision.
Peter Bananura, the Chikube district chairman, says that mediation was long overdue, saying the dialogue between the evictees and Hoima Sugar Limited is the answer to the long-time standoff to ensure peace and coexistence.
It's very key. The well-being of the investor is also very important. But however, there has to be a legal line where we all come together and live harmoniously. The area we are talking about, probably where the Hoima Sugar is physically, was a food basket. For those of you who are not aware.
Joan Akiza from Nape expressed excitement about the response of the Hoima Sugar Company officials, saying such response is a sign that mediation will yield positive results.
As small as a mustard seed, you will command a mountain to move and it will move.
Pauline Nambi, the Chikube District Environmental Officer, requested the Hoima Sugar Factory to look into the environmental issues.
That there is a lot of biodiversity and ecosystem which was lost in that area. So going forward, I recommend for restoration planting be done. Therefore, Hoima Sugar should come up with a restoration plan of restoring that area so that it can be brought back to its normal conditions as it was for the benefit of our community.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but we return after these messages. Don't move an inch.
So, I'm here to announce that the MTN Kampala Marathon is back. And this year, we are running for babies. To be clear, I am not talking about a baby. No. And neither am I talking about to be baby. I am talking about these small dollars.
Run for babies in the MTN Kampala Marathon on Sunday, 20th November 2022. Dial *165*77# or use the Momo app to register. Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe?
Did you know that a cashless, secure, and convenient lifestyle is possible with Airtel Money Pay? Pay for your goods and services in the following simple steps. Dial *185*9#. Enter the merchant ID. Enter the amount. Enter payment reference, for example, school items. Please enter PIN to confirm. You will receive a confirmation message for a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
The Ministry of Health informs the public that there are confirmed cases of Ebola in Uganda. We, however, urge the public not to panic as the situation is being managed. The Ministry of Health further reminds the public to be on the lookout for any persons who may show signs and symptoms of Ebola. These include high body temperature, abdominal pains, diarrhea, vomiting, bleeding from the body openings such as the nose, eyes, and mouth. Please inform the nearest health worker immediately if you see anyone with these signs and symptoms. To prevent Ebola from spreading further, please take the following preventive measures: regular washing of hands with water and soap, avoid handshaking and hugging, avoiding any contact with any suspected Ebola patients. Any person who dies suddenly should not be buried but reported to the nearest health worker or LC1 immediately. For further information, please call the Ministry of Health toll-free number on 0800-100-066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF and World Health Organization.
That's right. The Voice is coming to a city near you. From the 21st of October to the 10th of November, you get a chance to showcase your talent. Prepare a 1-minute MP4 video of yourself singing and upload it to thevoice.africa to register. Make sure you have a valid Airtel number, and if you're shortlisted, you will be contacted to come in for the live auditions.
Well, don't just stand there, let's go!
Music your passion, Africa your stage. The Voice Africa, connected by Airtel.
Welcome back from that break. And now into more stories. Government, through the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, is supporting sweet potato value chain project through the Consortium for Enhancing University Responsiveness to Agri-Business Development in Uganda. Under this project, sweet potato farmers will soon realize value for money after value addition on the Uganda 4th in gross agricultural production value.
Yonge yazze yokubanga lumunde atandise okukolebwamu emigaati tuba tufunamu ninda tufenga abalimi akatale kaba keyongera okola mu kusinga nga luli nti lumonde tubadde tusinga muguza abalya buli nga tuba tugenda muguzaako n'abafactory abakola emigaati abakola biki tuba tukifunamu naffe.
Sweet potato farmers will soon realize value for money following the renewed support by the Consortium for Enhancing University Responsiveness to Agribusiness Development in Uganda with funding from the government.
As a country, we want to take this value chain to a different level. What we produce different products from sweet potato. We add value to the sweet potato so that we avoid wastage, and also we increase on import substitution. Instead of importing too much wheat in Uganda for baking purposes, we use our sweet potato so that we save that money which would be importing.
It is projected that the initiative will also increase production in addition to creating jobs along the value chain.
The youths will get employed, women will get employed, and people in the different nodes of this sweet potato value chain will also get employed: the farmers, the transporters, the processors, the traders.
The principal investigator of the project, Dr. Frank Masco, noted that the sweet potato have been neglected for long, yet it is a commercial crop.
We are trying to infuse science into basic processes so that we widen the scope of products that you can get from sweet potato, and that way not only do you save on the costs of the material that somebody can use, but you are also able to increase on the volume of products that somebody can get.
He says, through the project, products will be developed and tested by research scientists from Mackay University and partner institutions before they are sent to the market.
Now, to see this value addition of bread from Rumonde is very, 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 very interesting. But even then, the bread is sweet, sweeter than the one made by the wheat which is imported.
Sala Kataike, the monitoring and evaluation partner of the project, says apart from sweet potato having vitamin A, it also contains nutrients such as protein, zinc, vitamin E and C, fiber and starch, which can be fed on cancer patients and malnourished children.
Now, such a project as sweet potato with its value chain promotion. First of all, we are going to solve nutritional issues. Already, Cancer Institute is one of our biggest clients because the yellow potato has a special vitamin which helps on issues of cancer treatment. So indirectly, we are going to solve malnutrition issues among our children, among pregnant mothers. Vitamin A is very important. Mineral deficiency is a silent killer in our country. So by doing this project, already we are helping to solve such problems.
Apart from value addition done by scientists, they're also working on multiplying clean seed of sweet potato vines, and it is piloted in eastern Uganda. I'm Joseph Bule reporting for UBC News.
Government has issued over 600 certificates of customary ownership to residents of Uriama sub-county in the West Nile district of Terego as a means to curb land wrangles in the refugee hosting area. During the issuance of the certificates in Terego, the State Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Obiga Mario Kania, urged the residents to properly plan for their land to eradicate poverty.
It was a moment of joy in Uriama sub-county Terego district as 623 residents were issued with certificates of customary ownership. During the issuance of the certificates in Terego, the State Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Obiga Mario Kania, assured the residents of how the certificates are internationally recognized. He also urged the residents to properly plan for their land to eradicate poverty since the ownership of the land is now secured.
Agando Artpolo and family, I congratulate you upon achieving this certificate of customary ownership, and I hand it over to you for safekeeping and good use of your land to fight poverty. Congratulations.
Although the nationwide issuance of certificates of customary ownership is a government program, the process in Uriama sub-county was facilitated by ZOA, a non-government organization operating in West Nile.
I believe today marks the beginning of all kinds of change that we want to see in our country, Uganda. 10-year security does open doors for development. Honorable guest of honor, your ministry has designated the whole of Uganda as a planning zone. To better plan, there is need to measure that which you are going to plan for. And without registering land, it's not possible to have proper planning.
Uriama is one of those sub-counties hosting refugees in West Nile, and program manager for ZOA, Alfred Babanga, appealed to government to popularize land registration if conflicts related to land matters are to be minimized.
While working in the sub-county of Uriama and in Terego and in this region in general, we have come to notice, it came to our notice that whereas the generosity of the landlords is holding, we are here because of the generosity of the landlords that has extended the settlement for the refugees. We observe that there's a new generation coming in place. The original land givers are no more there. They are being replaced by their children and grandchildren. We do not know what their own plans are, but I want to appeal to government that you need to plan for the time.
This is the first time in the history of the newly created Terego district where residents have received certificates for customary land ownership. Residents commended government for the initiative.
So I feel very, very happy. I thank Zoa so much that it is the best word since I received from where I was born.
Omukama Ruhanga w'obushobozi Bisaka has advised Faith of Unity followers to be exemplary through good deeds, but importantly hard work. This was during his visit to Kakonda in Kayunga district.
Faith of Unity leader Omukama Ruhanga w'obusobozi Bisaka has warned his followers off acts like witchcraft and corruption, but rather work hard for economic sustainability.
Ow'amagye gonna bamuyita ow'obusobozi abeera n'obuyinza. Mukama Katonda nga balina obuyinza yasobola okutonda ensi n'atondawo abantu n'atonda na buli kimu kyonna kye mulaba.
This was during his visit of Kakonda in Kayunga district, where more than 300 followers were officially welcomed into the faith. Buvuma resident District Commissioner Jacqueline Birungi appreciated Omukama Ruhanga ow'obusobozi Bisaka's love for President Yoweri Museveni and for the developmental ideas proposed to his followers.
Njagala okusiima ogambi mukama wange yakusiima olw'okugatta abantu n'ekiro kyendabye olunaku lwaleero ntuuse ndowooza komboyi eyitawo. Ndabye abantu batambula n'essanyu lingi nnyo, bali mu bigere tebafaayo bwe bakuba mu ngalo. Kitegeeza nti eddiini lye balimu liba waaki eddembe. Ate mukama wange yaleeta ki? Yagamba kolako kyewewuliramu gwe nga kikuwa ki?
So, I'm here to announce that the MTN Kampala Marathon is back. And this year, we are running for babies. To be clear, I am not talking about a baby. No. And neither am I talking about to be baby. I am talking about these small dollars.
Run for babies in the MTN Kampala Marathon on Sunday, 20th November 2022. Dial *165 *77 hash or use the Momo app to register.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude, it's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold on much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe?
Welcome back from that break. And now into the sports world. The MTN Philip Omondi Stadium in Lugogo has hosted the 2022 Pepsi University Football League final, in which Uganda Martyrs University in Kozi faced St. Lawrence University. The highly entertaining game was watched by a mammoth crowd and drew positive reaction from fans, players and organizers.
On the occasion of celebrating its 10th anniversary, the Pepsi University Football League has got a second-time winner in Uganda Martyrs University that has beaten St. Lawrence courtesy of a Sane Kaeja 28th minute strike. Uganda Mothers University that won the 2017 edition joins the elite list of two-time winners, including Makerere University Business School and Kampala University.
Tegabeera maanyi gaffe naye kiba kisaaki mukusookera ddala era twesiga Mukama then ekyokubiri ne tugenda ne tukola. Obuwanguzi buno butegeeza kinene nnyo eri UMU eri abavubuka aba Umusaints nange ng'omutendesi ne batendesi bannange.
This loss means that St. Lawrence University has failed to win back-to-back finals, having lost the previous one to Uganda Christian University. Battle for third place has been won by Uganda Christian University that needed penalties to see off Makerere University Business School after the two had finished 1-1 in normal time.
After winning the African Champions title in September, the Cricket Cranes, the men's national team, will head to Rwanda in December for a regional competition, as the women's national team, the Victoria Pearls, will travel to Kenya for a tri-series in the same. The teams are currently in camp training for these competitions, and our reporter was with the teams this week and brings us this report.
The national cricket teams, the Victoria Pearls and the Cricket Cranes, will be travelling out of the country this December for international tournaments. The men will participate in an Africa Cup competition in Rwanda, and the ladies will take part in a tri-series in Kenya. These upcoming competitions are meant to prepare the teams for the 2023 World Cup qualifiers and also improve the nation's ranking. It is for this reason that the teams are in camp training to put up great performances.
Today we are doing fitness. Tomorrow is a Tuesday, we're going to do skills. Again, Wednesday fitness, and Friday and Saturday again skills. So that the girls, I think they are doing well. Again, we are at the second week, then they are looking in good shape because they are doing skills and fitness.
Of course, at the moment, what we are practicing on, we want to give the players a lot of freedom when you get there to bat, most especially in the power play. We want them to go out there and express themselves and play pressure-free cricket, most especially in the first 6 overs of the game where there are only 2 fielders outside the ring. We want them to go out there, play hard, play smart, but most especially they have to express themselves.
Before they face Kenya and Qatar, the ladies are positive that this training is definitely what they need to prepare for victory.
Training hasn't been bad at all because the weather has been good and the fitness is really good under this humid weather. We are working on our fitness. So far we haven't gone so far, but the turn-up has been impressive. The team that was selected, we are 18 players and 13 are from within the central region, which is a positive to the coaches because they have a good number to work along with, because our expectation is to come back with the victory, and this is the time we are training right now to perfect our skills and also take it back to Nairobi and express it against the Kenyan counterparts.
The story is not different for the men.
For this preparation, we are working on tackling the power play. I think we didn't play the power play well in Johannesburg, so we are eyeing out upping the rate in the power play, and then for the bowlers, it's about nailing the Yorkers, the slow bouncers, varying our paces, as you know, T20 is growing very fast.
For purposes of team depth, the coaches have added new players to the squads for the upcoming tournaments. The players are also ecstatic to have an opportunity to play with the senior teams.
But from the time I started playing with the national side, a lot has been changing in my game. I got to realize there are some technical things that I needed to assess, mainly in my bowling, and I couldn't assess them if I wasn't training with the national team because of the video clips that are being taken. So I got a chance to analyze myself and analyze with the coach to see the areas that I have to improve.
As you can see behind me, the cricket cranes have just concluded their day's training. It's definitely hard work for the boys, but they are putting in the most. So are the girls who are currently in Lugogo. The best we can do is wish them the best and expect great performances at the upcoming tournaments. Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC Tonight.
Uganda Swimming Federation President Moses Mwase prides in the quality he has witnessed during the Sprint and the Masters Championship hosted at Muhika Junior School in Chira Municipality. Now, according to Mwase, this is a pointer to better things going into the new year, during which insights on qualifications for the 2024 Olympics takes precedence.
The new state-of-the-art Muhika Junior School Skilling Center in Kira Municipality has hosted Uganda Swimming Federation's final local calendar events of the year 2022.
This swimming pool is a part of the bigger plan of skilling the young ones at a tender age, giving them survival skills. And these survival skills are going to depend on, first of all, them getting the required in order to compete in the ever-changing world. For example, we need them to do a number of things: baking, art and craft, swimming and competing globally. And then above all, by giving them financial literacy so that they can survive better going forward.
The first of the day was the third National Age Group Sprints Gala that attracted 18 clubs and was won by Gators, followed by Altona and Aquatics Academy. Uganda Swimming Federation President Moses Mwase is confident that performances will help at upcoming events like the Kana Zone 3 next week in Tanzania.
The idea of the sprints is for us to recognize the top swimmers that have swum in the fastest event around the year, to give them this kind of event. It's an invitation event, and the idea is for us to encourage them. But we also use the sprint events to prepare our Kana team. We have a team of about 45 athletes that are traveling to Tanzania next week for the 7th edition of the Kana swimming championships. So we always use the sprints to have the swimmers try out and test a little bit of the skill in preparation for those championships.
Individual excellent performers including Abigail Mwagale, Elijah Wamala, Tara Kisauzi, Malcolm Nahamia, Kirabo Namutebi and Steve Magera received cash prizes.
This event was exciting, at the same time challenging. I tried to beat my PB, hopefully I did.
The Masters Gala also returned after almost 3 years out. This category that had swimmers like Donald Rukari and Peter Sebanakita is for people aged 25 and over and has grown in stature, attracting 9 clubs for this edition.
We break it up in 5 years gap, so 25 to 30, 30 to 35, etc. It's an enjoyment thing. It's not a thing of pressure. Yes, you can come and be competitive, but it is swimming for life. It's enjoyment and keeping fit as we grow older. So everyone who can come from Masters should come for it.
The Masters Championship was eventually won by Altona through exploits of Maktum Muziransa, Idris Kusima, Sandra Arinaitwe, and Amos Baka.
Maktum Muziransa, he won the Journalist of the Year for the Uganda Swimming Federation. He is the best.
Well, UBC News Tonight has come to an end. We'd like to thank you so much for your company. I'm Loreen Masika Kazimoto and Muhammad Mugalu on Sign Language Interpretation. We do bid you a good night.
A very good evening to you once again. I welcome you today's weather broadcast brought to you by Uganda National Meteorological Authority in conjunction with UBC. I'm Majezi Africano, you are today's presenter. There have been a pickup in wet activities and we have experienced heavy rains today around Lake Victoria. when we take a look at the satellite picture that has been captured over Africa, it shows that the rain belt is over our country and all the systems are generating the kind of high rains we are experiencing in the country. Tomorrow in the morning, we expect the southern sector to have thundery rains in places like Mubende, Masaka, and Kampala. Nakasongola area is expected to have light rains. In the eastern sector, we expect Chinja together with Tororo to have thundery rains, but Soroti area will experience light rains. In the western sector, we expect Kasese, Mbarara, and Kabale area to have light rains, but the other areas it's going to be thundery rains. In the northern sector, we expect light rains to be in Arua area. Lira is expected to have thundery rains, but the rest of the northern sector is expected to have light clouds. And in the afternoon, we expect thundery rains to continue in the southern sector, Mubende, Masaka, Kampala, together with Nakasongola. But in the eastern sector, we expect still similar conditions of thundery rains to take place. In the western sector, we expect similar conditions with temperatures ranging between 21 degrees Celsius up to 28 degrees Celsius in Kasese. In the northern sector, we expect a change, and we shall have light rains experienced in many parts of the northern sector. Elsewhere across the globe, we expect Nairobi to have light rains, but elsewhere we expect sunny conditions. Thank you for being with us. Stay tuned.